Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie and I've got another Valentine's Day mani for you today, and as soon as I saw this nail art stamping plate, I got super excited because it was so pretty and full of bows and a lot of fun things. But as soon as I saw this lace up design, I had this great idea to do some negative space color blocking and to stamp the lace up in the middle of it to make it look like I was kind of tying the design together. And these beautiful colors are from the January Double Dipped subscription bag. So stick around, let's hang out. We'll talk a little bit about the subscription bag, and I'll do some stamping without using any gels. As I mentioned in my intro, the three colors that I'm going to be using for today's mani are from the January 2024 subscription bag from Double Dipped. So the three colors I have here are Kismet, Karma, and Fate, and these are a mixture of solids, shimmers, and chameleon flakies. So I love that there is a little bit of everything. And there is a theme for these colors, so it must be Fate. So I love that there's kind of a cohesive theme for these colors, as well as these colors just pair so beautifully together. So it takes the guesswork out of creating a mani. Whenever I do a mani, I always like to start with my solids first. So I have one solid out of these colors, which is Karma, which is a beautiful light pink color. I'll also be using my double dipped dip liquids for this mani. So this is going to be a no gel mani. And I will say I am an ambassador for Double Dipped, so you can always use my ambassador code Purplicious18 to save 18% off your orders. I don't receive anything from it. It's just a discount code for you to use. I don't believe you can use the discount code though on the subscription bags, but you can use it on any other order. So let's talk a little bit about the subscription bags though, because I absolutely love my Double Dipped subscription bag. First of all, I'll say it's quarterly. So I love that it's not a huge commitment, because if you're like me, you have way too much dip powder than you know what to do with. So only quarterly is a little more palatable. You know, you feel a little less guilt, and it comes in three perfectly paired colors. So it kind of takes the guesswork out of doing your mani. Like you can just use the colors in the bag and know that they'll pair really well together and make a beautiful mani. The sub bag is only $25, which I think is super affordable considering you get 3/4 ounce dips with that, and one of them's usually like a premium flaky or some sort, or glitter or whatever it may be. So I think it's a really great deal. It is recurring, but it does give me an email heads up before I get charged, just in case I want to cancel it or anything like that. But of course I wouldn't do that because I love having the sub bag. And I think another really great perk of having the sub bag is you get a 25% discount code to use as long as you stay subscribed to the bag. So you don't even need my ambassador code to save 18%. You could use your sub bag code and save 25% on your orders, which is really awesome. But back to my actual mani, I finished with my second dip of Karma, so now I'm going to go ahead and cap that in clear using my double dipped clear. And I do this because I'm going to do a little bit of filing and buffing, and I don't want to file through the color and have it look splotchy. So it's a little extra protection for my color. And then once that's fully dry, I'm going to make sure I scrub off that excess clear using a stiff scrub brush, which ensures I don't get any graininess or cloudiness. And then I'm going to go ahead and activate the nail. So I'm activating it because I'm going to be using a shimmer and flakies next, and I want to ensure that they don't contaminate my solid nail, because the glitters, shimmers, flakies don't stick to activated nails. So that was 2 total dips of Kismet, both on my pinky and my thumb, and I didn't cap it in clear because I'm going to go ahead and use Fate, which is the chameleon flakes. And I'm not really worried about contamination, so that's why I'm going to wait to cap it in clear till I'm done with Fate. So Fate did not have such a good Fate, so you will see. So I'm going to do a color block on my middle finger. And because I'm using tape for that and I have peel base on, I want to protect my peel base because if I put tape directly on my peel base, it would peel up the peel base, defeating the purpose. So I went ahead and capped that in clear. I dusted off the excess clear, and now I'm going to go ahead and activate it because the tape will not stick to the grainy powder. So it does need to be activated in order to get the tape to stick. So that's why I did that for my middle finger. And I'm actually going to do my 2 dips on my ring finger before I move on to my middle finger because I want to give that activator plenty of time to dry because I don't want to contaminate my dip base. So I am moving on with Fate on my ring finger. And this is such a pretty flaky. It kind of has like an iridescence to it. I'm looking at it right now just to look at it. So depending on the shift of the color, you see like pink and mint green and maybe a little bit of blue, kind of like an opal-y type look. And it's like different size flakies as well. So there's smaller pieces, there's larger pieces, and it's just really beautiful. But here is where Fate did not have such a good Fate. So I have my computer next to me, and as I was dipping, I got a notification and it kind of startled me. So this happened. Just wait for it. Look at that. So sad. But of course, panicked me is like, well, I've already got dip base, wet dip base on my nail. I need to go ahead and dip it and then I will worry about the mess. So I went ahead and dipped my nail so I didn't have to reapply my dip base. And here's what I thought about. Jen, the owner of Chaos Concepts, her son dumped out her jar of dip powder, and she cleaned it up using her Chaos Gemerald, and I was like, oh, that's perfect, because it was like fresh on the top of my mind. So I'm taking my nail file, I'm scooping that, scraping it into my Chaos Gemerald, and then because it's flexible, I can just kind of fold it a little bit, pour it back into the jar, and I'm going to do this a couple more times just to clean it up. And this worked so well. I mean, obviously I did still lose a little bit, but I got most of it back and I was so relieved because of course it had to be the beautiful flaky that spilled out. It couldn't be like the solid dip powder. But luckily, thanks to this hack, thanks to Jen, I was able to save most of my flakies. See, it's almost like brand new, only a little bit missing. But anyway, now that I'm done with my 2 dips on my ring finger, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the color block on my middle finger. So I am using this roll of tape. This is some color blocking tape that I get off of Amazon. I'll leave it linked down below in the description. This is my favorite to use for color blocking because I like that it's thinner, so I don't have to worry about cutting it thinner. Like, I like to use washi tape, but it's really thick, so I like the thinner tape. So I am placing this tape down the middle of my nail, and then I want to make sure that I'm pressing down well because I don't want any gaps, because I don't want the dip base to seep under there. So I'm just making sure that it's pressed down really well onto my nail. And then once I feel like I've got that applied really well, I'm going to go ahead and apply my dip base as much as I can around the sticker. It's okay if I go over it a little bit, but as much as I can, I'm just going to do the exposed part of my nail and apply my dip base. And then once I have that on, I will dip into Fate, and I'm going to do that 2 times. And I will say that you probably don't want to do more than 2 dips of color blocking with the tape on, or else it could potentially get stuck on your nail. So I do 2 dips anyway. So after my 2 dips, I will gently peel up the tape. But if you want to do more than 2 dips, I would still suggest taking off the tape, applying another piece of tape if you still need it, and do it that way rather than doing more than 2 dips on top of your tape or a sticker or whatever you're using, because you don't want it to be stuck on your nail underneath your dip. I went ahead and finished up off camera, so here's how the mani's looking after I finished filing and buffing, and now we're going to get into a little bit of stamping. So Maniology was kind enough to send me some products to use. So the first one is this really adorable stamping plate. This is M453, and these bows are just so cute. And I think these are actually perfect for the coquette trend that's happening right now. But anyway, so I'm going to be using that stamping plate. And they also sent me this trio of polishes that I think are perfect because it is a trio of different pinks. And these polishes are just so pretty. Maniology stamping polishes are some of my favorites to use because they are just so easy. So I'm just going to show you the colors here really quick and then we'll do some stamping. This stamping plate is actually what inspired my whole mani because as soon as I saw that kind of lace-up design, I knew I wanted to do that negative space color block to where I could stamp that lace-up design in the middle and make it look like it was tying the two designs together. And I thought that would be really fun to do. So I'm just taking my polish and I'm applying that to the design. I'm making sure I have plenty of polish. I'm going to take my scraper, scrape at a 45-degree angle, and then taking my jelly stamper, I'm going to roll it to pick up that design. There was a little extra polish, so I'm going to remove that. And then I'm going to apply my sticky base coat to my nail. So this one is from Maniology as well. I like to pick up my design first and then apply my sticky base coat because there is a window for when you want to use your sticky base coat. So you don't want it wet, but you don't want it completely dry or else it won't be sticky anymore. So you have to get it to that tacky state. And sometimes I take a little longer to pick up my image with my stamper. So I like to make sure I've got my image down before I do this. So it's just going to take probably like a couple seconds to get a little tacky. And then once it gets to that state, I'm ready to apply my stamping to my nail. And it may dry a little bit on the stamper, but because of the sticky stamping polish, it won't matter. It'll still transfer. So I'm going to look through my jelly stamper, figure out where I want to place it, and then I'm going to press down to transfer the image from the stamper onto my nail. So you can sort of see my color blocking was a little too wide, but I still like the way it turned out because you can really see that stamping well. And let me tell you, I love stamping, but most times, I'd say probably 99% of the times, it takes me 5 to 10 tries to get the image to pick up properly, to get everything the way I want it. And it takes multiple times, but for some reason today, and maybe it was just fate making up for spilling all over me, but for both designs, my middle finger and my index finger, first try, picked up the image, transferred it to my nail, no problems. I was so happy that it didn't cause me any issues.
Invincible.
Once my stamp is dry, I'm going to go ahead and top it with my smudge-free top coat from Maniology as well. And this is actually going to protect my stamping from my activator because I am going to be using Dipp'd top coat. The smudge-free top coat dries fairly quickly, and once it's completely dry, I'm going to go ahead and apply my final layer of activator in preparation for my top coat. So I'm going to start with my nails that don't have the smudge-free top coat on them. So one thin, even layer of activator to those nails. And then once I get to the nails with the smudge-free top coat, I don't want to drag my brush and disrupt that top coat. So I'm going to float that activator on top. So I'm being very light with the brush to make sure I don't disrupt that. So I'm going to wait a full 2 minutes for my activator to dry, and then I'm going to go in with my first layer of Dipp'd top coat. So 2 to 3 really quick swipes on each nail, starting with the first 3 nails that don't have the smudge-free top coat in the same order I applied the activator. And then I'm going to do the same for the nails with the smudge-free top coat. And then once I'm done with all 5 nails, I'm going to go in with my second layer of Dipp'd top coat. So I'm going to make sure my nail is fully covered. I also want to make sure that I'm capping my free edge. As always, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles with my Scales of Mermaid Cuticle Oil. This is in the scent Crisp and Brisk, and I love using this scent because it's just a nice, clean apple scent, and it's just so hydrating, especially after I do a dip powder mani. My skin gets so dry. So that pretty much wraps up today's video. So a huge thank you to Maniology for sending me over these products to use. And I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this. And it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.